So hey guys, um, you remember that in my last video I said that was the last video I'll ever made, and there will be nothing new, no more new materials, and so on and so forth. Well, yeah, I got a little bit of problem with that. So as you can see, that I tried to talk to my boss about what if I just give all my lessons away to some other teachers who might need it, and then he basically said no, he can't because it's already been allotted, and I got my salary from it, and basically I cannot do anything about it. And also he made it very clear in a group that if I don't teach, it will be considered as mangkir, and I will get in a big trouble. Okay, so that means I got no choice. I have to make this entire thing, and I've been like thinking, what shall I do? Okay, because as you can, I already know that my material is already done. Okay, there's nothing else, and I've been thinking back, and I saw that we talk about parts of sentence, right? Parts of speech actually. We talk about parts of speech, and I thought it wasn't done. Okay, that material wasn't done. There's still one more thing. No, actually two more things on it. It's called parts of sentence basically. So in this video, I'm going to talk about parts of sentence, but only a bit of it because there's actually even more complicated than that, and I don't think that one meeting can finish all of those things. So yeah, let's just do it. Oh, by the way, this is my rooftop.
Alright then, so let's begin with our lesson today. Yeah, by the way, this recording is made in one take, so if there's a lot of mistakes, I will have to say sorry first. Okay, right, so today's video is about parts of a sentence, which is the part 2. The first part is something that you have done last semester, which is parts of speech, if you still remember those. Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk about 4 things. Okay, first one is the review of parts of speech. Okay, a review of 8,000 parts of speech, and then we move on to the parts of sentence, which is the main material today, and then I'll give you the instructions later on for the activities, and lastly is the conclusion of everything that we've had in this video. Alright, so let's begin with the first part. Okay, it's a review of parts of speech. If you still remember those, okay, you can skip this part, okay, to see the main material, but I'll going through this pretty much quickly. Okay, so in essence, there are 8 major parts of speech in English. There are noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, conjunction, preposition, and interjection, and we'll discuss and we'll talk about them one by one. First one, we talk about nouns. Okay, so it's something that refers to words that are used to name persons, things, animals, places, ideas, or events. Okay, and generally they are divided into some types. Okay, some nouns are divided by this category into proper nouns and common nouns. Proper nouns always start with a capital letter. Okay, that refers to the names of person, places, or things like Volkswagen Beetle, Pizza Hut, or Game of Thrones. While common nouns, they are just generic names of persons, things, or places. For example, human, or car, or pizza parlor, or TV series, and so on. Okay, and then there's also a concrete noun. They talk about noun that you can perceive with your 5 senses. Actually, have more than 5 senses, but you get the point. Okay, for example, like folder, sand, board, and so on. While abstract nouns, they are things that you cannot perceive with your 5 senses. For example, the idea of happiness, the idea of grudge, the idea of bravery, or maybe concepts like democracy and so on. Okay, and there's also things called as count nouns, count and mass. So we have talked about this before, okay, in class. So yeah, count, basically everything that you can count, it is a countable noun. It has singular and plural form, not always, but most of them. For example, kitten, video, and bowl. And we also have mass nouns, so you cannot count them, also known as uncountable nouns. Okay, usually we need some kind of counters to quantify them. For example, a kilo, a cup, a meter, and so on. And the examples are rice, flour, and garter. Now, there's also collective nouns, so it refers to a group of things, okay, persons, animals, or things. For example, faculty is a group of teachers, a class is a group of students, a pride is a group of lions. And then the next one is pronouns. So a pronoun is a part of speech which functions as a replacement for a noun. Okay, so you replace a noun with pronouns, so you don't have to repeat the same noun over and over again. For example, I, it, he, she, mine, his, hers, and so on. We, they, theirs, and ours. Okay, I'm sure you're familiar with this already. And then we also got something called adjective. Okay, adjective describes a noun, okay, or a pronoun. They can talk about the quality, the size, or the number. Okay, so for example, the carvings are intricate. Okay, the word intricate describes the appearance of the noun carvings. Okay, and then for example, I have two hamsters, so the word two, they describe the number of hamsters. Okay, and then wow, the donut is huge, so the word huge is an adjective that describes the size of the word donut, like that. And then we also got verbs. Okay, it's a word that shows an action, physical or mental actions, okay, or a state of a subject in a sentence. Okay, and since most of your school English material is about discussing verb, I don't think we need to go really deep in this one. And then adverbs. Okay, so adverbs is similar to adjectives. They describe something, but while adjectives talk about nouns, adverbs talks about adjectives, verbs, or another adverb. So for example, Annie dance gracefully. Okay, so the word gracefully tells about how Annie dance. So the word gracefully describes a verb. The child is very talented. The word talented, okay, the word very is an adverb, and the word very describes the word talented, not the word is. Okay, and then the next one, of course I look everywhere. Okay, now the adverb everywhere, it describes the word look, like that. Okay, so yeah, it can also describe a verb. And then he looked at her very menacingly. Okay, and then if you can see here the word very, okay, it describes the word menacingly, which is an adverb. So I think we can see that an adverb, they can describe verb, adjective, and another adverb. Okay, and then the next one is preposition. Preposition describes the relationship between two nouns. Okay, so for example, I hide under a table, for example. Okay, when I talk about under the table, okay, the word under describes the relationship between I and the table. So where are you in that situation? Or for example, we can also talk about she has been crying for hours, for example. Okay, the word for, it describes the time relationship between hours and she, the subject, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I hope you get the idea. So preposition talks about the relationship between nouns, okay, and pronouns. And then the next one is conjunction. Okay, they are a part of speech that joins words, phrases, and clauses together. Okay, we can make an acronym of it. We can say fanboys, which stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Okay, so those 7 words are conjunctions. Okay, last year I also taught this one, so yeah, easy. Interjections, right? So in last semester, I purposefully not to talk about this one because this is something really simple, you know. So they are words that express emotions. Okay, and because they usually convey strong emotions, they are usually followed by an exclamation point. For example, ouch, that must have hurt. Okay, so the word ouch, or the word hooray, or the word hey, they are interjections. Okay, or in Bahasa Indonesia we call it kata seru, simply saying. Okay, and yeah, we don't need to talk much about it. And then that's about the parts of speech. Now we talk about parts of sentence. Okay, the first one is called simple subject. Okay, this is one of many. Yeah, so the first one is called simple subject, which is the main word in the complete subject. So for example, okay, we talk about our boss help in the difficult work assignment. Now the word boss is the simple subject, so it's basically like the head of the subject. Okay, without it the subject is incomplete. So for example, if you erase the word boss, so the sentence becomes our help with the difficult work assignment. It doesn't make sense, right? But if you erase the word our, so the sentence becomes boss help with the difficult work assignment. It still makes sense. Okay, you get the idea? And then the same holds true for Georgia. In the sentence, Georgia is our computer systems director. Okay, so if you erase the word Georgia, yeah, there is no subject. Okay, first of all, and the sentence will not make any sense at all. Okay, and then some other examples. Okay, the simple subject is italicized in its sentence below. So for example, my aunt drove us to the museum. Again, if you delete the word aunt, it will become meaningless. So it will say my drove us to the museum. My what? Right? So it doesn't make sense. And then you can make the drawing more realistic. So the simple subject is this one. And then a talented, versatile musician joined our orchestra last week. Okay, so yeah, the main the simple subject is musician. Again, if you delete this word, okay, a talented, versatile joined our orchestra last week, it won't make any sense because this is the main subject. The first batter in the lineup is Tammy, so we talk about baseball here. Okay, the stack of papers is near the sofa. The word stack is the main verb, and the main subject. Someone in the store dropped a wallet, so someone is the subject. And sometimes the subject is not in front of the sentence. For example, near the fence is my car. Okay, so yeah, you can also put the subject at the end of the sentence, but this is not really common. Okay, only on certain conditions you can do so. Okay, right. So we talk about simple subject. Now we move on to the complete subject. Okay, it contains all the words that help to identify the main person, place, thing, or idea. So for example, the woman on the planning committee agreed to change its plans. Okay, so the simple subject is woman. Okay, because if you delete the woman word, the word woman, it will not make any sense. The on the planning committee agreed to this change in plans. No, it does make sense, right? And then the whole subject, the complete subject, is the woman on the planning committee. Okay, so one of the ways to determine the end of a subject is where you find the verb. If you find the verb, that is the end of the subject usually. Okay, and then yeah, so some other examples. So the complete subject is italicized, okay, while the simple subject, the main subject, is underlined. So the stack of papers is near sofa. Okay, so this is the complete subject, and you see that it ends before the verb is. Okay, and the main subject is stack, and then someone in this row is sitting in the wrong seat, for example. Okay, so you see again that the subject ends before the verb is sitting. Okay, and then a wonderful exciting event is planned. Okay, the main the simple subject is event, the whole complete subject is a wonderful exciting event, and it ends right before the verb is planned. A wonderful and exciting display is planned. Okay, the difference, okay, the small difference is that this one is just connected by a comma, while this one is connected by a conjunction and. Okay, and in the back of the room was our display. Okay, again, some subjects can be placed at the end of a sentence. Okay, and yeah, it's right after the verb. Okay, and the simple subject is the word display. Right. So that was about subject. Now we talk about predicate. Okay, it's kind of okay. Simple predicate is similar to Indonesian predicate, the idea of predicate in Indonesia, which is a verb. Okay, a simple predicate or a verb is the main word or phrase in a complete predicate. But later we'll talk about how this is just a simple one, not the complete one, like the first one. Okay, like this one, simple subject, is just the main subject, while this one, like the simple predicate, we only talk about the center of the predicate, which is a verb. Okay, for example, in a sentence, my music teacher taught me a complicated piece yesterday. Okay, so the simple predicate, the verb, is taught, this one. Okay, verbs that show action are relatively easy to detect. Okay, and they also include am, are, be, been, being, is, was, and were. Okay, so for example, my uncle is a mechanic. The verb, okay, is, does not necessarily show action, but it makes a statement, but it's still a predicate. Okay, it's still a simple predicate. Okay, some other examples. Okay, Veronica completed the puzzle in record time, so the word completed here is the simple predicate. And then one of Joanna's favorite card games is spades. Okay, the word is the main predicate, the simple predicate. My friend borrowed my social studies book. The verb followed. The summers in Maine are fantastic. Okay, the word are is the simple predicate. Hector is here with us. Okay, the word is right here. Okay, is the main verb. Also the simple predicate. They received mixed messages from her, and all of the hairstylists are happy at their job. Okay, so yeah, I hope you get the idea. This is the simple predicate. It's the same concept as predicate in Bahasa Indonesia. Right, and then the next one, we talk about compound predicate. Now, sometimes in a sentence, we can have more than one verbs. Okay, so yeah, it's two or more verbs in a single sentence. These verbs joined by a conjunction have the same subject. Pay attention to that one. They have the same subject. Okay, so in the sentence, the older dog generally just ate his food and slept each day. Okay, so the compound verbs are ate and slept. Okay, and the conjunction is and. Okay, so just ate his food and slept. But again, the verb, there's only, the verbs, okay, they talk about only one subject, the older dog. Okay, and then in the sentence, the older dog just ate his food and he slept most of the day. Okay, there is no compound verb here because the subject of the first main clause, dog, has only one verb, ate, and the subject of the second main clause, he, this one, has only one verb, the word slept. Okay, even though the word he can refer to the word dog, okay, but since they are two subjects, it's still considered two different subjects. Okay, the word dog and the word he are two different subjects. These are not compound predicate. Okay, remember that the verbs in a compound verb must have the same subject. Okay, must have the same subject. Right, and then other examples. Okay, Tito sings and dances well. Okay, again, these two verbs, these two predicates, they talk about the same subject. You can either stop here or proceed onward with caution. Okay, they drag the heavy cartons into the garage and open them. Okay, again, the word drag and open, even though this word open is really far behind, okay, but it still refers to the word they. Okay, that is still the predicate of the subject they. Now, our professor lectured, read, and discussed the topic. Yeah, it can be more than two, so three is possible. Okay, oops, sorry. And then Marcia bought and signed the get well card. Okay, bought and signed refers to the same predicate as subject, Marcia. will the director announce or post the list? Okay, so the word announce and post are the predicate of the same subject, director. Okay, Joe's neighbor can neither speak French nor read Spanish. Okay, speak and read, they refer to the same subject, Joe's neighbor. The waiters welcomed us, brought us some water, and then took our order. Yeah, so the word welcome, brought, and took, they are all predicates of the same subject, the waiters. Right, and then, okay, so this was quite different from what we know in Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, so a complete predicate is the main verb along with all of its modifiers, including the object. Okay, so if in Bahasa Indonesia we learn subject, predikat, dan objek, right? In English, it's basically subject and predicate includes everything from the verbs and the nouns that behind it and so on and so forth. Okay, so for example, in this sentence, the violinist received an award this evening. Okay, the simple predicate is received. Okay, the simple predicate is received, this one, and the complete predicate is received an award this evening. Okay, so the complete predicate includes a verb, receive, a noun, an award, and an adverb this evening. Okay, the complete predicates are italicized. Okay, so for example, the firefighter carried the heavy package from the garage. Okay, so the subject, the firefighter, okay, and then the predicate, the complete predicates are carried. Okay, the verb carried, the heavy package, which is a noun that has a adjective describing it, from the garage. Okay, you got a preposition phrase here. Okay, start because the head is the preposition from. Okay, next one. Some of the old magazines were thrown into the recycling bin, right? So the subject is clear, some of the old magazines. Okay, and then the predicate, the simple predicate is were thrown. Okay, and then the complete predicate were thrown into the recycling bin. So into the recycling bin here, okay, it is a prepositional phrase. Okay, it starts with the word into, so that's the head. Okay, and then each pile of leaves was removed by noon. Okay, the subject, the complete subject, is each pile of leaves with the head leaves. Okay, the simple subject is leaves, and then the complete predicate is was removed by noon. The simple predicate is was removed. Okay, and by noon is again a prepositional phrase because it started by the word by. And then the grand prize winner is Kayla's father-in-law. Right. Yeah, this is the simple subject. This is the complete subject, the grand prize winner, and the simple subject is winner. The complete predicate is Kayla's father-in-law, and the simple predicate is the word is over here. Okay. Now, what you're gonna do next is that we're going to have some small assignments. Okay. So I want you to take a look at the docs that I have provided. Okay, assuming that you're done. So let's see, the first activity is something. So the activity is called look for something easy. Okay, so how you do it? All you gotta do is only find the simple subject in each sentence. Okay, find the simple subject in each sentence, and then for every subject that you find, write the first letter of each simple subject that you find in order. Okay, and if the answer is correct, you'll compose a sentence. Okay, yeah, you'll have a sentence. Write the sentence in the Google Forms in small caps. Small caps, no full stop. Okay, just the words. Okay, of course you need to give some space because it's a sentence. Okay, and then activity 2 is called healthy advice. Okay, what you gotta do is that match the subjects in column A with the sentence in column B. Okay, these sentences, they are all proverbs. Most of them are proverbs. So if you are stuck, you should open Miss Resti's notes again if you have to. Okay, write the answers to letter combination. So if you can see in the column B, there are 2 letter combination in brackets, in bold and in brackets. Right? Write them in order. Okay, so for example, number 1 is AN. Okay, so and then number 2 is AP. This is just an example. I haven't checked the answer yet. Okay, AN, AP. So you write all of them in order. Okay, if your answer is correct, you'll spell out a familiar proverbs. Okay, type the proverbs in the Google Forms in small caps. Okay, and you don't need any full stop. Okay, no need for any full stop. Just write what you see in there. Okay, and then activity 3 is called matching them up. Okay, so you're going to take a look at these two tables. Okay, find the simple predicates in group 1 and then match your predicate with the synonym in group 2. Okay, write the letters in order in the Google Forms provided without any space in small caps. Okay, so this one will not make any word. Okay, so just type all of them in order. Okay, for number 1 and so on. Okay, and then type them without any space, don't give any comma, all in small caps. Okay, and then the last one is activity 4, which is a walk in the park. Okay, so you'll get a list of sentences here. Okay, some sentences contain compound verbs or predicates. Okay, some do not. Find the compound verbs in the following sentences. Okay, and then you don't need to do anything with the single verbs. Okay, so if that sentence only have a single predicate, single verb, you don't need to do anything about it. You can skip it. Okay, now for every compound verbs in the sentences, okay, write the first letter of each compound verb. So if there is so if for example in one sentence you found two verbs, which is did and ate, for example, so you write D and A. Okay, all of them in consecutive order. Okay, ngurut basically in order, and then if your answers are correct, you will spell out 4 names of parks that you can find in New York City. Okay, write the names of the parks in small caps in the Google form and are separated by space only. You don't need to add any comma. Okay, so good. Okay, and that's pretty much it for this video. So far we have talked about subjects and predicates. There are two types: simple subjects. There are two types of subject: simple subject and complete subject. There are basically two main types of predicates: simple predicates, which is we only talk about the verbs, and then the complete predicates. So the verbs and its complements. We call it complements in linguistics. Okay. Yeah, so have fun with your work. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. Bye.